We're going to discuss today neuromechanical effects of autoimmune disease. What we're going to be looking at is the 6 points on the brain, which you're going to see on your video. We found that if we have the person using the pulse magnetic mat and the clamshell loop, we're going to show you a procedure to take and open the pathways up from the head to the body. So neuro-emotional, mechanical responses. Opening those up allows us to treat any condition in the body easier and better, more effectively. We found that we can actually help people, doesn't matter if it's cancer, diabetes, or you're going to go do an IV, you want to do this procedure before. You're going to be doing each point for 1 minute that we're going to show you. Then after that, we use the mat on the IV, or for the mat for the person. Afterwards, we'll take and use a different coil. But first, we'll do this on these points. We've identified 6 points. Our center point here, we'll find a right and left point, a center point right over the ears, right and left point. You can see that on your drawing. Now, when we use the coils, we're going to have it set for 1 minute. We'll find our best polarity where the patient feels the most impulses. For 90% of the people, you're going to do the center point. And if you don't do muscle testing to check these points, we only will do 2 points maximum on the head to tolerance and a certain sensation. When we do the central first point here, we're going to feel a sensation of thumping. The patient will feel a sensation that will potentially go down to their teeth. When we get it down where it's feeling going into their cheek or teeth, we know we're opening that pathway. Or if it becomes too uncomfortable. So in this patient, we would do the central point here. We would do 1 minute on the central point here. Now this is a plug-and-play system for all of you that don't do muscle testing. I'll just say that. You potentially would muscle test each of the 6 points, pick the 2 ones that are the weakest, balance those 2. You don't want to overutilize PEMF on the head. So in review, we have the loop hooked to the mat, to the machine. We bring the tolerance up to where they feel it just down, starting to get to the teeth on the front central point. When we do the back point, we won't particularly feel it down to the teeth, or either the side points, it won't go particularly to the teeth. So realize, you only take it to the patient says it's too uncomfortable to go anymore, or if they get a sensation starting to go in their teeth on the very front one. After we run 1 minute on 1 or 2 points, and again, for you ones that are plug and play, do muscle testing, just do the central point. You'll find that out 98% of the time. Safe one to do all the time. So you virtually can do that one there to start with. Sensation where it's uncomfortable or they feel it down to their teeth. So we have 6 points in the head. We're going to do a maximum of 2 points for 1 minute each. In the body, and you'll see the diagram on the body, what it looks like on the abdomen, we also have 6 points. 1 is just below the xiphoid, 1 is the belly button. Those are central meridian ones that seem to line up with any toxicity. Those are the initial ones we'll find. So, easy one to do. We place, again, the loop on, hooked through the mat. We're going to bring the tolerance up to where we feel kind of a lump in that central point there. We'll find that lump will release in about 15 to 30 seconds, or we bring it to the point of the patient being uncomfortable with the procedure. Again, 1 minute on the central point. The second point we'll do in the central meridian is down to the belly button. Again, same procedure, 1 minute through the mat. So potentially you have a technique here. If you're just plug and play doctors, have your staff run 1 minute here, 1 minute under the xiphoid, 1 at the belly button, then do your IVs and procedures. You'll find you'll get better results by opening those pathways up. It'll help the cells respond to the nutrients you put into your IVs. Now, when you proceed along, you've done this to the patient, they have complaints of fatigue or weakness, you're going to probably want to do the central point and what I call the adrenal points, which again refer to your diagram on the side, lateral aspect points that are marked, and it'll be right at the bottom of the rib cage. We'll center the coil over the area here. Again, run it to tolerance here for 1 minute. And when we do the lateral ones, we always do the opposite one on the opposite side. So we do 1 minute on each. So with this treatment, if the patient has experienced a lot of fatigue and you figure they're not as toxic anymore, do the central head and do the side, what we call adrenal points. Now, if we're looking at a hormone issue, hormones could be low libidos, it could be female problems, osteoporosis, any issues like that that we know are metabolic, which are hormone-based. We're going to take into our central point on the head here first, or two. Then an easy way to hit the two lateral points, and I'll call these the hormone points. The very bottom, refer to your diagram. You'll lay the mat across here. We'll take and put like a rice bag or a bean bag over it to hold the coils down, and we'll do this for 1 minute. It'll hit both those points. So now we've got 1 minute here, possibly a minute here, and a minute on the hormone points. That pretty much gives us a process to do before we do IVs to open up neural pathways to help the patient respond better to IVs, and you'll find patients are more relaxed after this procedure. Their head feels clearer, they usually sleep better, and sometimes warn patients they may have some funny dreams. Not abnormal. You'll find them having change in bowel movements after this. You'll find some detoxing effects that happen with this procedure. Very simple, and again, do it before IVs ideally. If it works out space-wise, do it after the IV, but sometime within a short time of the IV before or after. And neural pathways open up, your patient's response will be better, you'll have happier patients, they'll feel much better after treatment, they'll walk out of the office going, wow, that was a great treatment. Thank you.